So, good evening, everyone. Let us start with this webinar. It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure to welcome today with us Honorable Learned District and Sessions Judge Shri Girish Katpalia ji, Headquarters 30 Hazari Court Complex, Shri V.K. Bansal ji, Director Delhi Judicial Academy, and also Chairman Centralized Computer Committee. And we also have with us Shri Abhilash Malhotra ji, who is the Metropolitan Magistrate, Nodal Officer, and the member of the Computer Committee Central. So I now request Jyoti to take on from here and introduce our guest of honor speakers for today. Jyoti, over to you.
Thank you, Nitesh sir. Good evening, all. I advocate Jyoti Bakshi. I am honored to deliver the introductory note in relation to the topic of discussion by the esteemed panel which we have amidst us today. To begin in a little trivial course, we as a whole realize that COVID-19 has demonstrated to be an overwhelmingly troublesome factor in many walks of life, the impairing impacts of which we all are encountering on a daily basis. It has had a transformative impact which can be supposed to be in the field of technological acceptance, wherein we are currently observing an unexpected and quickened embrace of technology in certain zones, including our own judicial system. With this note, I would like to take the opportunity to introduce to our August gathering today's guest of honor and the keynote speakers. We have with us Sir Girish Katpalia, Learned District and Sessions Judge, Headquarters, 30 Hazari Courts, whose presence manifests his deep concern for strengthening the judicial system. A warm welcome to you, sir. Next in the panel, we are honored to have Shri V.K. Bansal, Director of the Delhi Judicial Academy and Chairman, Centralized Computer Committee, Delhi District Courts, also as our keynote speaker for the day. To have you with us is a matter of great joy. A warm welcome to you, sir. It also gives me pleasure to introduce Sir Abhilash Malhotra, MM, Nodal Officer, Centralized Computers Committee, as a keynote speaker of today's webinar. Sir would be acclimatizing us with procedure of e-filing and the modalities attached therewith. A warm welcome to you, sir. Last but not the least, I take the privilege to welcome all our noteworthy participants who have taken out time to attend and add a silver lining to today's webinar. I now request Nitesh sir to set the webinar open for today. Thank you.
Thank you, Jyoti, for the wonderful introductory note. So I have collected a little data on which I would like to take only a 1 minute of our esteemed panelists and the judges present here and with our participants. Very good evening to all of you. The matter in perspective, if we see the survey carried out in the March, the early time of the pandemic outbreak of COVID-19 in England and Wales, it has been observed and stated that half of the barrister will not survive in the 6 months if this pandemic continues. These are worrying statistics keeping in view the status of our country. There is a great threat to the legal profession. What we overlook is the problem at the institutional level. Physical reopening of the courts are uncertain and risky at present moment. However, in the grave rises like present, the judiciary being the important pillar of the legal profession can really play the important role. The present session is not only representing the symbolic presentation, but also to find out a complete and concrete solution at the grassroots level. So who can be the better person than our learned district and session judge Shri Girish Katpalia sir to start with today's session. Sir, over to you.
Thank you, Nitesh ji. I'm really happy to see this initiative coming from the bar because on our side, the judicial officers, we've been doing all sorts of trainings and best possible efforts we are putting in. So it was really a matter of happiness for me when I was told that lawyers want to hold this kind of a webinar. So I said, let's do it. And even today, initially we were in difficulty. In fact, Bansal ji and me, we were both scheduled to attend another meeting, but we said, no, this meeting must be given importance by us because we need bar's cooperation. See, we have to live with COVID. Let's not fool ourselves that in a month or 2 or 6 months, it's going to go. No, it's not going to go. We have to live with changed lifestyles. We have to change so many systems of our society. So many institutions have to adjust themselves. And you see, I'll share with you, long ago when I was an advocate, I always used to dream way back. And I mean, I'm talking of 94, 95 when in Patiala House, I was the first person to install a computer in the chamber. So that time I used to always dream that there should be something, because that time internet had just started coming up. It used to be that menacing connection to get to the internet site. And that time also I used to always dream, you need a day when everything is done on the internet. When today my limitation is expiring, so I don't have to rush to the court to file it. Sitting at my home in my bedroom itself, I must be able to file my matter so that it stays within limitations. So we are moving in that direction, and it's a very happy sign. Let me also share with you that the Delhi High Court, from its side, has been telling us to involve more and more advocates into this process of e-filing and e-hearings and virtual court concepts. For that matter, at a great cost to the Exchequer, we have also been arranging the video conferencing facilities from different spots and different court complexes where an advocate can conveniently go and use the VC facility, because everybody may not have that much of bandwidth to hold on to video conferencing. You have this facility in all the court complexes. You can go anytime. If Dwarka Court is near your residence, you can go there and address arguments to me sitting in my home or sitting in my Tisari chamber. See, ultimately we have to do this. We have to start working. We've already, we were forced to waste our 2-3 months during this past COVID. But now we have to pull up our socks. So from our side, we are contemplating best possible trainings to the advocates. Why training to the advocates? Because it is the filing and all which you people have to do. And I believe court is not just the judge. Court is judge plus advocate. If an advocate appearing in the court is not able to perform, judge cannot perform. Judge cannot perform because then we are ignoring the basic right of a fair, reasonable opportunity to be heard. An opportunity to be heard during COVID can be provided only by way of virtual platforms. Now, but despite this, unfortunately, see, we are aware that in urgent cases, bail matters, people are appearing through VC and addressing arguments, and we are going on. But unfortunately, my experience is not that good when it comes to the regular cases. In regular cases listed for final arguments, suits listed for final disposals, criminal trials listed for disposals, our staff keeps calling up the lawyers with the request to join by video conferencing, but they express inability. We also tell them that they can utilize the facilities available in the court complexes for doing VC, but still they are not willing to come forward. They are not willing to come forward even to file written arguments. Now, mind you, I'm not saying that they're doing it deliberately. There must be some genuine reasons. Maybe the council is living in a containment zone. Maybe the council is genuinely concerned about his welfare so that his family doesn't get infected. These are practical problems which we are facing and which I'm sure we will overcome. This shall pass too. That should be always there in our mind. So we have to resort to these electronic means. So once again, I am very happy and I congratulate you and your team for having organized this kind of a training program. I hope more and more such training programs would be organized even by the lawyers who are today in this webinar as attendees. They may not be able to participate and speak, but I would request the lawyers also to spread this as far as possible, the process, the procedure of e-filing, which I am sure Mr. Malhotra has been, and under the guidance of Mr. Bansal, they've been doing wonderfully well for us. So I would not take much time. Thank you very much for inviting us in this enlightening program. Thank you so much.
So thank you so much for being here with us and give us the consent to have this program organized. We are very thankful to you that the judiciary has, opened the arms for the profession and the bar to overcome this pandemic in these difficult times. Now we have with us Shri V.K. Bansal sir, and what I got to know about him yesterday only, that the age where somewhere some people say that technology is not for them to learn. Shri Bansal had in the year 2002 his first laptop, and since then he is having the skills to bring more and more technology in the advancement on the dispensation of the justice. So we request Shri V.K. Bansal Saab to speak over the subject. Sir, over to you.
Good evening, sir. Girish Katpalia ji, Learner District and Session Judge Headquarter. My colleague Abhilash Malhotra ji, Nitesh Mehra ji and his team, and all the members who have joined. It's my pleasure, and also I thank Mr. Nitesh for giving us this opportunity to interact with all of you on this aspect. We were caught unaware when Corona invaded, but now I take it as an opportunity to improve this system and improve ourselves, so that in this time and also post Corona time, maintaining social distancing, we can use the technology as a tool to dispense justice. We are equipped. We are going to take further steps also, so that in this tough time, we stand together and help out the people so that they may get justice. In this regard, initially we started e-filing only for the commercial courts. That also now way back around 6-7 months back. That also only for arbitration. Thereafter it was extended to the entire commercial court litigation. About a month back, we extended it to the family courts establishment also. There also now it is going on, and only yesterday night around 8 p.m. we have extended this facility now for entire civil litigation. Now the courts have opened for you the filing of the petitions, not only the urgent petitions, which was the norm till time, but you can file every suit now using this facility. The thing is only now that we have to learn how to use it. And mind it, it is not the same situation now, and perhaps that will not come again, that we are assembling in the court, entering the court together and arguing out the matter. Now we have entered into the digital era, and we have to be digital era advocates. If we are equipped, if we know how to use the technology, and if we know how to approach the court using that technology, then we will be not only helping ourselves, but also helping the justice delivery system to reach to the needy, to reach to the downtrodden, to reach to the person in need who is craving for justice. And for that, I think Nitesh Mehra has taken a great step, so that we all together, as Shri Girish Katpalia ji had already emphasized, that justice system is complete only when the judge and the advocates work together. We as a judge cannot do justice unless you also are there, participate, and you get a fair opportunity to put the case forward of your own client and assist the judges to deliver the judgment, and in that way deliver the justice. I can assure you people that under the guidance of the IT Committee, High Court of Delhi, and the leadership of Shri Girish Katpalia ji, our district judge headquarter, we are achieving new heights every day, and we are craving every time and having meetings almost twice or thrice every week, and sometime in a day 2-3 meetings, to find out new ways so that the advocates are comfortable and are able to approach the courts to get justice for their litigants. We just noticed that advocates are somehow finding it difficult to register themselves, and we will be coming up with the solution to do it fast. For that, maybe during this webinar itself, we may be able to give you the email addresses or some platform from where you can get yourself registered or get assistance for registration. Even today, we are helping all the advocates who are approaching us to get themselves registered. And I can share with you that almost 10 to 15 advocates are approaching us daily, and we are assisting them within 10 to 15 minutes of receiving the complaint, I can say, or any request that they are not able to register. It is not a tedious job. It is a simple technology which can be used everybody. The only thing is that we shall be handy with certain information. That is the mobile number which we will be using every time, our email which shall continue the same, then your enrollment number, and few more details which is already handy with every advocate. Besides that, few hardwares, that is a laptop having camera and microphone facility which is available in every laptop. Then if not laptop, then a smartphone. Now perhaps everybody is having, but still if none is having, anybody is not having, as Shri Girish Katpalia ji already informed, every district court complex had already made facility available to every advocate to use the rooms and the systems which have been created only for this purpose, for those advocates who cannot afford that or is not having that facility at their houses or in their offices, plus a small connection, internet connection. It is not so that you must be requiring 100 Mbps or something more. A simple Wi-Fi connection with the MTNL or Airtel will serve the purpose to have this video conferencing facility. That is all we require, plus the technology awareness and then the facility available in the court. So far as the technology availability is concerned, we have put everything on the website. Any one of you can go to the website and check it and find what are the facilities available. And if someone is having any difficulty, they can approach us directly. There is no such hindrance and there is no such resistance from our side that no, how can you come us? Rather, we will be happy to serve and help. I, as the chairman of the centralized committee, and also on behalf of Learned District Judge Shri Girish Katpalia ji, ensure that if you find any difficulty in approaching our system through e-filing or through video conferencing, our team as a whole is available there to assist and facilitate you. Thank you once again, and it will be our pleasure to serve you, help you, and also assist you so that we as a team, that is the judges and the advocates, can help the poor people and the litigants to get justice in time. And I once again thank Mr. Nitesh Mehra to provide us, who has provided us this opportunity so that we can interact with you and tell you what is there which you can use. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
So thank you so much for the advancement of such a wonderful note about the today's webinar and of adapting the technology so as to boom our judicial system as it was going earlier and get as many as litigants the justice who are talking at the doors of the courts. So with this, now I request Shri Abhilash Malhotra ji, who is also known as the techno man in the district courts, being helping all the judicial officers with his technical assistance. Now we request that he may also assist all the advocates who are in this webinar today that how to do e-filing at Delhi District Court with his beautiful PPT presentation. Over to you, Abhilash Malhotra, sir.
Thank you, Nitesh ji, for your kind words. As the Learned District Session Judge and our Chairman, Sir Mr. Bansal sir, has already apprised you that these are the changed circumstances, and technology is the area where we need to usher. So without wasting much time, let us understand what is the e-filing system of the Delhi District Courts, how you can e-file your cases, what is the procedure, what are the protocols. So before starting my presentation, I will just take the house to the website of District Courts and see where the e-filing can be done actually. So I'm opening the website of Delhi District Courts. This is the home page, and you can see there are tabs for e-filing of the cases in the Delhi District Courts. So I'm opening this commercial code tab firstly to show you the protocol for e-filing, the practice directions for e-filing, which was approved by the Honorable High Court of Delhi. So these are the practice directions for e-filing. I request all of you to read these practice directions. So it gives the directions regarding the procedure which needs to be followed, the font which needs to be there, the file size, and how much time you need to deliver the document, how you need to authenticate your documents on the e-filing portal. All that procedure is contained. This is a 4th document. So I request all the lawyers to study this protocol. The rules which were recently distributed on the WhatsApp were regarding the video conferencing facility of the Honorable High Court of Delhi. Regarding the district courts, these are the rules which are currently in force. So this is the button called e-filing. It is currently showing civil cases, but later on some other jurisdictions are also going to be added. So click here for e-filing and it is going to redirect you to the e-filing portal. Right. So here the individual who is already registered as a user will log in with his user ID and password. And in case of a advocate who is not registered on our portal, he will click here on the registered button. Right. A new register will click here on register button. And there are two kinds of registration, as you can see, which is available here. First is the registration as an advocate, and second is the registration as the party in person. So the issue which Bansal sir was talking about was regarding the registration of advocates. So as of now, the prerequisite with which this system requires you to register in our e-filing module is that you need to be registered in the database of the district court, that is called CIS database, Case Information System database. So a lawyer, before registering himself on the e-filing portal, needs to be registered on the database of the district courts. So that was what sir was talking about, that they are already receiving requests every day, and they are registering advocates in the CIS database. So very soon we are going to come up with a modality where the advocate can fill a form online for registration in the CIS, and once we accept that request, he can come here and register online, use the e-filing facility. So if somebody is having user ID password, he can log in here and he can start the e-filing. So now I will come back to my presentation. I have taken screenshots of the whole e-filing and I will show you step by step that how the e-filing needs to be effected. So this is the login page which I have just shown you. The user will enter his user ID and password. This is the dashboard the user is going to see. So whenever you are going to file a new case, you need to click here on this button, new case filing, and the process of filing the new case will initiate. I will come to these buttons later on. These are the tabs relating to the pending e-filed cases. I will come to these tabs later on. So right now, a new user has created his login ID. He has logged into the system. Now he will file a new case here. So when he will press the new case button, this screen is going to come first in time. That is, he will select the state Delhi. Now he will select the district, in whatever district you want to file your case. The court establishment. So many of you might not be aware about what is the court establishment. The filing of district court is divided into various limbs, starting with the establishment of learned district and sessions, where you can file the cases before the ADJ court as well as the ASJ courts. Then the establishment of the senior civil judges there on the civil side, establishment of the CA there, and similarly the establishment of the family court is also there. So when you will click here, you will get a drop down menu and you have to choose in which establishment you want to file your case. Then matter type you have to select. Matter type is the case type. Suppose you want to file a criminal complaint, so the case type is CT case. You want to file a civil case, the case type will be CS. So we will upload a PDF file on our website giving all the case types as well as the nature of the cases which can be filed, so that there is no confusion in people while choosing the case types. So you will choose the case type accordingly. Then there is a button called, is it a MACP matter? MACP is motor accident claim petition. So if it is not a MACP matter, you will click no here and then you will submit the button. When you will submit, the second screen like this is going to come here. So basically it is a form which you need to fill. It contains the metadata of the title of the case, the name of the plaintiff. So you can see the buttons here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So one by one, all these details are to be filled by you. Petitioner detail, respondent detail, extra information, act section. We'll come to them later on. So in this page, firstly, you are going to fill the details of the petitioner or the plaintiff. So you will fill all the necessary fields here. Do remember to mention the email and the mobile number of the parties, because we intend to serve you digitally also. So please ensure that, and you can see that the email and mobile number have been made compulsory fields here. So if you do not fill them, the system is not going to accept your filing. So let us move ahead. So the moment you moved ahead to the next page, on the top you can see this e-filing number has been generated. So what does that mean? Do that mean that case is already e-filed? No. The case is still in the process of e-filing, but a draft e-file has been generated in your login ID. So that means, suppose you are busy and you have filled the form page 1, and now you have to rush for some other work, and you want to later on come back and start filling this form again. So you can track that case by using this e-filing number in your profile. Right? It is just like the income tax return. You must have experienced that there is an option of saving draft on the Income Tax India e-filing portal. So it is like the same facility. You can save your draft and you can work upon that draft anytime as per your leisure. So again, this e-filing number is generated here. He will fill the necessary details. He will fill the respondent information, the email ID, the mobile numbers. Then these are all miscellaneous. These are all miscellaneous fields. There is no red asterisk prefix to them. That means that if you want to furnish this information, it is well and good. Otherwise, they are not mandatory. There is a field called defendant / accused extra information. So in the previous page, the details of plaintiff number 1 and defendant number 1 were filled. So if there are more than one plaintiffs, that has to be filled in the plaintiff extra information. That means number 2, number 3, number 4. And if there are more than one defendants, similarly, it has to be filled in the defendant extra information. So the details will come here. You see extra party information. We will keep on filling the names of the parties as per the requirement. So now this is the page where you are going to choose the section and the act. So in this slide, in this example, the act, I have chosen Arbitration and Conciliation Act, and this was a petition under section 9. Similarly, if you are filing a civil suit, you can type that it is under CPC or under any other special legislation which you are in which you are filing your case, and accordingly choose it. So now this is the option to upload the documents in the system. So now, so far you have done, you have filled the details of the plaintiff, the defendant, you have filled the details of the act. Now the system is asking you to upload the document. So what you will do, you see these are 3 fields which are available here on the screen. Firstly, you have to select the document. So it is going to give you a drop down menu that what kind of document it is, whether it is a plaint or a written submission, or it is a miscellaneous document, or it is an application. So it is going to give you a drop down menu. You have to choose accordingly. Then you can manually type the document title here also, and then you will browse the PDF file and upload it. The file size of the PDF should not be more than 25 MB. If it is more than 25 MB, then you have to split it. So usually I have seen with my experience that a 25 MB file which is scanned on a grayscale mode 300 DPI, it will be containing around 100 pages easily. So if you can do that exercise also. You can export a PDF, a Word file into PDF, and see what is the size it is going to give. So if the file size here is 25 MB, above it you need to split that file. So, and the system is also showing that what should be the name of the file. So it should not be more than 45 characters, and you need to avoid all these things in the name of the file. Though it is showing here 20 MB, but it has been 25 MB. So now the moment you upload your document, you see, in my presentation we uploaded a document here. So it is reflected here on the screen that I have uploaded application for stay under section 9 of the Arbitration Act, and it has come here. So the system has automatically calculated the hash value of your PDF. So tomorrow there is no question of from either side that I uploaded some different document and judge is having some different document before me. The moment you upload even a PDF file, we are going to have a hash value. This document is going to remain throughout its life with same hash value in our system. So in a way, the authenticity of the document is foolproof in this system. So similarly, you will upload the second document. It will come here, and you can keep on uploading n+1 number of documents as per your need, and the system is going to give them serial number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So how you are going to file in a civil suit. Firstly, you will upload your plaint, then you are going to upload your miscellaneous documents, and then you can upload your wakalatnama or any other thing which you can split in index. So now this is showing you the page of the court fee payment. So right now you can purchase the court fee from our website also. I will take you to our website. This is the website called pay.ecourts.gov.in. So on this website you can select Delhi, and you can select your district, central, and you can write the details of your case, and you can purchase the court fees. You can purchase the court fees in any existing case also. You need to type the CNR number, and the details of the case will be automatically fetched from our system. Or you can continue to purchase your court fees from the authorized vendors from where you are already doing the buying of court fees. So both electronic models and the franchise models of purchasing court fees are available for you. So the court fee, you will take a printout of the court fee which you buy here, and you will annex it along with the case which you are filing in the court. There is a limitation here. We are yet to link electronic purchase of court fee in our e-filing portal. So it will take some time, but I think in future this facility is also going to be there. But as of now, what you can do, you can scan your court fee receipt and you can upload it here. You see here, I'm just zooming in. So you can scan your court fee receipt . Just a minute. Is it visible to you?
Yes, sir, visible.
So, you are selecting the court fee type here, you are entering the amount manually. Payment mode is, it will give you a drop down menu in case you have you're uploading physical court fee, you can choose that. And then you can upload the receipt of your court fee, and it is done. You need not buy the online court fee through this portal. So, again, it is a very simple process. You just need to enter your court fee number and it is done. So after entering the court fee detail, this page will come, affirmation. What is this affirmation and why it is required? Because we are filing your case online, it needs to be authenticated and affirmed at your end that whatever e-filing you are doing, it is true and best to your knowledge and you are not concealing anything. It is similar to the physical file, and nothing is altered, nothing is plus minus, because the honorable judge may always refer to the physical file also. So for these all purposes, this affirmation is required. There are available in our system to do the affirmation. Firstly is through your digital signatures. Secondly is through your Aadhaar OTP authentication. And thirdly is through your mobile OTP authentication. So if somebody is having digital signatures, he will choose that mode and it will prompt for uh, putting your digital signatures for affirming. If you have your mobile phone which is linked to your Aadhaar card, then the system will prompt you to enter your Aadhaar number. OTP will come at your Aadhaar linked mobile number, and after entering that OTP, you can authenticate. The third method was the mobile OTP, because what we experienced initially, that many of the advocates were not having digital signatures, many of the advocates were also not having Aadhaar numbers which were linked to their mobile phones. So they were facing problems. So the third option, that is the simple mobile OTP, was introduced. So whatever mobile number you give at the time of registration in e-filing, on that mobile number as well as email, you will receive two OTPs. Firstly at your email and second at your mobile number. And you need to enter those two OTPs to authenticate the e-filing. All right. So here on this screen, this applicant Sohan is putting down his mobile number and he's requesting for the OTP to authenticate the document. So once he presses that button, it is written that OTP is sent at your mobile, and now he will enter the OTP received at his mobile, and the screen will show that the document is verified using your mobile OTP. You can always take the printout of that mobile verification. So, so far, if I sum up what we have done, we have created our user ID. It is an easy process. We have filled in the details of the parties. We have filled in the details of the court fee stamp. We have scanned the documents. We have uploaded it. So we are not doing any serious technology issue, science. It is all user friendly. It is all easy things which we are doing on our day-to-day basis also. So it is showing you that this is the final view of your case, which is ready for e-filing. So once you submit it, it is going to show on your dashboard. Now, I took a pause about the dashboard initially. Now let us come back to dashboard and see what this dashboard actually looks like. So when you save a draft, like you start a e-filing and you have to go somewhere urgently, you are not able to finish it. That file is going to reflect here in the draft tab. But once you submit the e-file to the court, once it is out of your control, it is going to show in the pending acceptance tab, right? So when the court will approve it, it is going to reflect here in this e-filed cases tab. And when the court user will put some objections, they are going to be reflected in these red tabs, not accepted or defective. And then you have to do the refiling on this portal. So let me show you, hurriedly one by one, that how these steps have to be taken at your end. So in this case, we have e-filed the case. It is pending for acceptance. It is showing the details of the e-filed case. So currently, you see, in the pending acceptance tab, the case is only coming with the e-filing number. It is not coming with any CNR number. But once our registry will accept this case, the CNR number will also start reflecting here. So we'll see how it happens. Right now I'm taking you to the module of the admin user, the module of the court user. Though it is not required, it is not relevant from your point of view, because you are only going to be working on the public portal. But I thought it is good to give you a holistic picture that how the court user is also going to function, and you can appreciate at your end also that this is the process. So admin user will be seeing this. Admin user is also having a very similar user friendly pane like you are having before you. So he will see here that a new filing is received. So in the new filing tag, number 1 has come here. So now he will proceed with this e-filing. he will take some action on it, whether to put some objections or whether to reject it or whether to accept it. So let us see what action he is going to take. He's here, see, when the actions are approve, disapprove, or deficit in court fees. So let's see, let us assume that he has put one of the objections, and now from the new filing, the admin portal is showing that this case has moved to the non-accepted category. So this will be communicated to the advocate on his portal also. Uh, Now we are moving back to the web portal of the advocate to see what message he will receive in his dashboard. So the case has moved from pending acceptance to not accepted. Right? That means the court user has put some objections and the advocate needs to remove those objections. So advocate or litigant will click here, and this is the resubmit tab. He will resubmit this, and again he has to follow the same process. Or in case there is some objection regarding the deficit court fees, so he need to upload the deficit court fee, or if there is some other objection, he need to remove that objection, upload the documents, and then submit it. So I'm just rushing through these slides because in these slides I have shown that there was some objection regarding the court fees and he is removing that objection. So again he has to, while removing objections, he has to similarly reaffirm the submission. So he will be again having three options: Aadhaar, digital signatures, or his mobile number. So again he has chosen to go by mobile number. So he will submit it finally by clicking this button, final submit, and the case will be submitted, and it will be moved again to this tab, not accepted, to pending acceptance tab. Right? So let us take you again back to the court user to see what he will see now. This is the court user login. The court user will see now that this is a refiling. It is not the fresh filing now, it is the refiling after removal of objections. Now the court user will again check it. If there are some objections, he may put some more objections. Otherwise, he will proceed further to accept this case. So now we are assuming that all the objections have been removed and the court user is going to accept this case. Right? So refiling, and he will take action. So we are going to approve this case here. He will approve. So system will ask, are you sure you want to approve this case? Yes, we are approving this case. So from refiling tab, it has moved to transfer to section. So why transfer to section? Because when we created the e-filing protocol, the physical filing is still not exempted. So we in that protocol, it is written that till the time you do physical filing, the case will remain in transfer to section only, and only after the physical case is filed, the matter will be registered in the court. That was the protocol which was issued earlier, but I think in the COVID scenario, it needs some kind of tweaking because physical filing may take some time, and the hearings have to initiate on the basis of e-filing only. So we'll take that administrative call that how it has to be done. So from transfer to section, I am assuming that the physical copy is also filed. Now this is showing it will be kept in transfer to section till hard copy is filed. Now let us see what the litigant is going to see after the approval in his system. Now it is showing that it is pending scrutiny. That means you have to file your physical papers at the filing counter. So let us assume that you have filed everything. So now admin user will transfer this case to the court. So far as at this juncture, the all transactions were done at the cloud portal. Nothing has been consumed by my local server. the courts are functioning on local server and then they push the data to the national server. So in this case, we are going to consume the data from the cloud server to our local server. So now the court is going to proceed further to consume your case from the cloud portal, from our e-filing portal to our local server. Let us see how it happens. It is asking, do you want to transfer this case to the local court? Yes. So from this point, we have moved this case to this point, available for CIS. CIS is our local database, I have already told you. So now it is available for CIS. So in CIS, the system administrator will consume the data. So you see, the case which you e-filed is consumed in our system. So this is all, what happens behind the wheel. So this is just in order to give you a holistic view that what we are also doing. So we'll consume this case in our local server, as this is your e-filing number. We will then, proceed further, and then we will file successfully. And finally, this case is registered in our system, right? So after the registration, the litigant in his ID, I'm rushing up with some of the slides. Here we are allocating it to a particular judge. Now in your ID, you see, initially I have shown you a slide when it was a draft or when you filed it, there was only the e-filing number which was there. But now you can see in this column, the CNR number of the case has also come. So that is a confirmation that your e-file consumed in my local server is allocated to a particular judge and he has registered that case in his court, right? And I'm proceeding further with it. So now this case is going to reflect here in the e-filed cases in your portal. So it is going to act as an archive for you. See, you can see here that the case has come to this category after the registration by the court. So I'm just trying to come to the slide which concerns you now. Yes. So the judge will be able to see the case in his court as this e-filed case, you see here. And this e-filed is also going to reflect in the cause list of the court also. So the lawyer will be also able to know that this is a e-filed case, and the e-filed cases are going to reflect in the routine cause list of the court like any other cases, but only with the distinction that it is a e-filed case. And the judge in his portal will be able to see the e-filed cases on the screen. They will be able to download the PDF file. They will be able to see these PDF files, and they will be able to conduct the proceedings using this PDF file from their home. So this was all about a brief introduction about e-filing. You need to try it. You need to create your login ID, and you need to spend some time on it, creating drafts, some hit and trial. In case you face any problem, you can contact me, you can contact our computer branch. We are always ready to assist you. And like Bansal sir has already applied that all jurisdictions are going to be there available at the e-filing portal. So that means that now you can file all kind of cases on the e-filing portal. And obviously, when the judges are going to do digital proceedings through video conferencing, you will be getting the orders also in the digital form. You will be able to find these orders on our websites also. So that's all. It is a beautiful system which is created with the help of the e-committee. But the only thing we expect is that the users should become proficient in using this system. I know there may be some limitations, but this is an evolving process, and with your kind feedback, we'll improve the system further. So that's all from my side.
Abhilash, can we go to the site now, Delhi District Court site? Live?
Sir, can you see the site, sir?
Certainly, certainly. Click on e-filing cases, civil cases. Now, now there is a on the right hand side how to register in CIS. I initially told you that we are working on that, and now it is made available. Now you can find out how you can register after clicking here. Now there is a tab here, register here in the code software. If you click on it,
This is the form, sir, which has come.
this is the form on which you have to enter your details, and we will register you. You submit it and we will register you on CIS. Now please go back, Abhilash. Scroll down. Even in the pending cases, you can get this facility by visiting our website and can get yourself registered by giving the CNR number, giving information that you have filed your wakalatnama in that case, and we will be taking around 2 to 3 days to update you, and thereafter you can get the information on your mobile phones and through email about that case. Thank you.
So can we throw some light upon attending the virtual hearings?
Virtual hearings are actually through now video conferencing. As district judge Sahab already told you that all those matters which are now for the maybe bail matters, injunction matters, all urgent matters, and also the final arguments matters, our staff is already contacting the advocates so that either they can be with us through video conferencing or may submit the written submissions, written arguments through email, so that those can be considered. But there may be some limitations with those advocates also, as already pointed out. And for that purpose, we have already provided the facilities in the court complex itself, and they can avail that.
Thank you, sir. Now I request Siddhi, who is our moderator. Siddhi, if there are some questions, you can take up one by one.
Right, sir. Good evening, sir. There are certain questions by our participants, and the first question is for the learned district and session judge. Sir, am I audible to you? So the very first question that comes is, many a times problem is arising that the advocate is not able to register. Is there any helpline to overcome that?
That's exactly what you've been shown just now. You have the website available. On that website, the provision is there. You click there and there won't be any problem. In case still there is a difficulty in registration, Mr.
Right.
Bansal will tell you that our staff and everybody is always accessible. That can be done.
Thank you so much, sir. So the next question is, what is the system of scanning a new filing in the district courts? Has some facility been made at the institutional level as has been in the High Court?
You see, at the institutional level, things need so many steps to be undertaken, which are in the process. And further details, in fact, today itself, as I said, there was a meeting which we were planning, me and Mr. Bansal, regarding some of the issues pending with the Delhi government. See, as an advocate, we do not know so many things how the government machinery operates. Operates in the sense, the technical steps, not in the negative sense. So those technical steps are being taken care of by the government. And that's how very soon we'll have the possibility of scanning also at our end. But right now, we do not have scanners for the purpose of e-filing by the council.
Thank you, sir. Sir, the next question is for Abhilash, sir. Sir, am I audible to you?
Yes, yes, madam, audible. Continue.
Okay.
Yes, you're audible, please.
Yeah, what is the system of affidavit in civil filing?
I think the services of Notary Public might not be available at this juncture during the lockdown period, and the documents are already being affirmed in the digital manner. So if Sir Bansal sir is also here, he can guide the house. This is a legal question, not a technical question. So we can count that affirmation as a valid affirmation, sir.
No,
Can
Abhilash, there is already a protocol that the filing has to be done in the physical form within 7 days after the e-filing. And therefore, at that time, certainly the document will be required duly attested either through the oath commissioner or through the notary public as required under law. Because the legal integrities cannot be compromised in this system also.
Thank you so much, sir.
And
So the
then
next,
one thing can be done by the bar also, because the bar is having the details of the oath commissioners with them. They can share it with the members about the details of the oath commissioners along with their mobile numbers and the addresses, so that the advocates need not run here and there, and the nearest oath commissioner available can be made available to the parties, and his services can be availed.
sir, extending this question further, like Abhilash sir had mentioned during his PPT that e-filing is now available. So, like you said right now, ki after 7 days of e-filing, we have to submit the file physically in the court. So, is this process in action right now at the moment during this lockdown?
It can
Because
be, madam, it can be sent through registered post. It can be sent through courier. It can be sent through any other mode. We are not asking you to come to the court and deliver us. And there will be, we are discussing today, maybe we put some containers there or some petition box where it can be put in an envelope so that it is not mixed up with the details mentioned thereon.
thank you so much, sir, for throwing light on that and clarifying the scenario regarding that. I will be moving on to the next question, which says, can we file applications, written arguments in the continuing matters in the regular cause list at this present moment?
Yes. One method is that we can file it or send it through the emails which are already made available. Each court is now having its own email ID on which it can be sent, and the courts are contacting the advocates while making telephone calls that if they want to submit the written submission, they can send it to that on email. So far as CIS is concerned, in that also we have just shown you on the website that you can enter yourself in that old matter also. You can get yourself registered and submit not only the written statement, but any application or even reply to any application, and also submit the documents.
Thank you so much, sir. So the next question comes, also can multiple advocates details be registered under one ID for the purposes of law firm with number of junior advocates?
No, individual has to be registered.
Thank you, sir. So the next question is, while we were discussing the PPT, we were talking about the size of the file and how sir had pointed out that how we will have to divide the file after 25 MB. So the question says, sir, how to divide the file according to the MB? Because if the petition is too long, won't it be into two parts, and won't it be difficult for us to handle it while arguing, or for pagination for that matter?
Madam, generally around 100 pages makes it 20 to 25 MB. And our experience show that most of the petitions are less than that.
Right.
It is rarely in some cases that it goes beyond that. But then the technology cannot help us out in that matter. And if I may share that, if you go through the old files, the petitions are only of 2 pages. Maximum. It is now only with the help of these computers that we are making 300 pages or 400 pages.
Sir, which makes me, I'll move to my next question. Sir, how will we inspect the file in the technologically advanced manner, if everything is there on e-filing, and now we're moving into technologically advanced digital court system, how will one inspect the file and how will we go about paginating the files as compared to the judicial record?
Madam, we are working on that so that you can have the file inspection while sitting in your drawing room or in an office, but it will take some time. We are working on that, already working on that.
Thank you so much, sir.
Madam Siddhi, in case you permit me, I just meant the answer on the filing of the miscellaneous documents and written submissions in the court, because that is the area we need to guide our advocates. So I'm just opening again, I'm sharing my screen. This is I have logged in into a test user ID, which we use for ourselves. So in a case where suppose you are from the side of defendant and you need to file the written statement in an existing case now. So you need to go here in the document filing. You need to select the district, the state, the court establishment, and then you need to type the CNR number or the case filing number, and you can file your written statement under this documents tab in the existing case. And similarly, say you are a plaintiff, you want to file some further applications or some further documents in your case, in a similar fashion, you can do that also. So this is the tab for interim application. This was the tab for documents. So my humble request to all of you is that when you are going to file any document in an existing case, please do not register it as a new case. Please use these two tabs, documents and interim application tabs, so that it is reflected at one place in the system. Because if you file it as a fresh filing, it is going to be registered as a new case. So that our system, the operator at our system is going to reject. So please be conscious and please make your friends also aware about it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Sir, I'll just clarify. I want a little clarification on that aspect. So when we are filing the written statement or any interim application in the already registered case, so will that combine all the documents? And so that both the parties and the advocates have access to it as a combined file?
Right, regarding the clubbing of both the files and showing you at one place, you have to wait for our version 2.0, which is still in the testing phase. We have already taken care of it, but this is e-filing 1.0. In this software, the facility is not there, but I'm sure I feel that in the version 2.0, you will be able to see the whole archive of one file at one place, and the question of inspection which you are making, that will be also addressed by that modality. So a lawyer, we are also all are suffering from space crunches at our places. So you need not keep the physical files. You will log in into your system, you will see the whole file at one place in archived form, and that too with the NIC server. So no need to maintain any database at your end also.
Thank you, sir. This really helps us a lot in so many aspects, because sir, carrying files every day to court was a very big task for every lawyer, because they have to rush on a number of courts. Sir, moving on to my next question. So in criminal matters where we have annexures as call recordings and pen drives, how do we upload such documents as annexures in the digital environment?
If you read our protocol, Siddhi, in that protocol, it is categorically mentioned that the e-filing system is not accepting the audio files as of now, audio or video files as of now. But what you need to do, you need to mention that in the index. You need to mention that in the index of your filing. But those audio files have to be filed physically in a CD at the of the district courts.
Okay, thank you, sir. So the next question is, can we scan files of previous cases and upload new documents in already filed cases?
If it is a e-filed case, then obviously yes, you can do it. But if that case is not in the category of e-filed case, you will see in the cause list, as I have already shown you in my presentation, what cases are e-filed. So word e-filed come in as a prefix. So all the cases which are e-filed, obviously you can do any e-filing in those cases. But for the existing cases, the answer is no.
So moving on to my next question, which is regarding the court fees. So at the time of purchasing court fees, someone purchases court fees, the mobile number of the advocate or the party have to be mentioned. So right now you told us that it has to be scanned and we can upload it. So how can we verify the authenticity of the court fees at this moment?
There is in Delhi government is having a contract with the Stock Holding Corporation of India. So when you go to their website, there is a web link to verify the e-court fee stamp paper. So as a lawyer, you can cross-check whether this is a genuine court fee or not. And similarly, in the courts also, when we are defacing the court fees, we have a link given by the Stock Holding Corporation of India, and we deface it on that link only. So you can vouch for the credibility going to the Stock Holding website.
Thank you, sir. So moving on to my last question for today's webinar. Sir, we should do away with paper filing. It's also environment friendly. Also, eCourt should also live stream the hearing so that students can also learn, and open courts are open to public. So what is your suggestion, or if you, sir, can throw some light on this?
I think I request our district judge sir and Bansal sir to answer this question.
See, my view is that sooner or later we have to have paperless environment. Of course, that will have its own limitations. With some of the scientists have also been of the view that the lot of digital data generated across the space will have its own limitations. But for that, we have another 50 years. Why should we bother right now? Presently, paper filing is necessary, because I was also scrolling through these questions on the chat. I saw somebody wanted to know what is the utility of paper filing. You see, so we are presently in the transitional phase. We cannot switch over straight from hard copies to soft copies, switch on, switch off mechanism. So during this transition phase, there may be so many lawyers who may not be able to fulfill the requirements. And then, see, most importantly, some verification, some authenticity has to be maintained, because when we are dealing in virtual world, nobody knows from where what comes. We are just in the beginning stages. We do not know what kind of roadblocks shall we have to meet in the process. So it may not happen that we totally discard the paper work and then we reach a dead end. So these are, I repeat, the only sentence which I would say in this is that it's a transitional phase. It has to be a gradual transition from the actual world to virtual world. So that's why presently it's required.
Thank you so much, sir. I would like to conclude it by saying that there's a very famous saying, like we say it, sustainability is the capacity to endure. So while, sir, this will be the end of the questionnaire rounds, and I will handing the mic to Nitesh, sir, to conclude today's webinar and give a thanking note to the learned, esteemed panel that is on the floor. Nitesh, sir, I think you are on mute.
Yeah, sometimes, the adaptability of technology has to be seen at every time. So I would like to thank you, Siddhi, for taking all the questions from the viewers, and my team, like Jyoti Bakshi, Siddhi, and Ankit, who was doing the technical part. Now I would like to conclude in a thanking note. Today, while I was listening to the esteemed panel of our learned judges amongst us on the board, it reminded me of a very famous saying, which says that you never change the things by fighting the existing reality. To change something, build a new model that makes existing model obsolete. I, Nitesh Mehra, on behalf of my team, would like to thank all of you from the bottom of my heart for having agreed to educate us on this important topic of procedure to be followed in e-filing and modalities of attending virtual hearings in the district courts. There is no denial that how far-reaching this area is as a matter of procedure. The advancement of technology and our ability to adapt has come as a blessing. The PPT presentation by learned Abhilash Malhotra ji was very insightful and informative. It really made the learning procedure easy for us. The pandemic and this time of crisis has surely ensured that we have to cope up with the advancement of the technology and not just believe that sustainability is the capacity to endure. The purpose of today's webinar was to reach and educate ourselves to the newly adopted procedure of e-filing that is to be followed in the present scenario. I would like to conclude by saying that the advancement of technology generally evokes a range of emotions people from all walks of the life. Some view technology as a great evil that slowly diminishes the humanity, while others view it as a way to bring our world closer together and to help solve some of our greatest challenges which we are facing in this pandemic situation. Thank you to my esteemed panel, learned district and session judge Girish Katwalia ji, Shri V.K. Bansal sir, and Shri Abhilash Malhotra ji. Thanks a lot for today's webinar and your precious time from your busiest schedule. Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Nitesh.
Thank you, Nitesh ji. Thank you. Thank you, all of you.